Hello everyone, welcome back to Geek's Guide to Starbound. And today we are going to get some more of this stuff. And I have not done anything off camera. I'm recording this right after my last episode. So I figured I should talk about something. Some of you may have noticed it's been a while since I've uploaded an episode of Star Trek Online. And indeed, it has been a while since I have uploaded an episode of Star Trek Online. So basically, the deal with Star Trek Online is, I think it could have been a much better game if the creators of it had not made it as an MMO. And I think it could have been a much better game if they just done it where focused on the storyline instead of, instead of the in-game content, because, also the latest expansions, Delta Rising, some of you may know about that, those of you who have played Star Trek Online, it's really buggy, really buggy, which is why some people can get quite annoyed with it, and, I honestly really enjoyed the story portion of it, but they either the beta testers that they have had testing in beta, didn't report anything wrong with it, or the developers didn't listen at all to what they said was wrong. Which there were a lot of bugs that kind of got on my nerves. So I think what's going to happen is I'm just gonna finish the Starfleet missions, and then the Klingon missions, and the Romulan missions, and then I'm just going to be done with the game. Not going to do any more of it. So, I think I will pause here and then do some things off camera, do some more mining, and I'll meet you guys back up at the ship. Hello, guys. Okay, here we are, back at the ship. And I've crafted us up an anvil, and we can actually get some stuff, build some stuff. Yay. So, to make a hoe, all we need is more wooden planks, so that's good. But I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create a deputy's hat. Oh yeah, now the look is complete. We are now a true cowboy, everyone. We the cowboy. Okay, do we have any wood? No. I'm going to take this chest and sit it back over me. We'll decorate this place up as we voyage through the stars. Okay, so I'm gonna continue what I was talking about because it's been actually like a day or so since I recorded the first little tidbit of this episode. Okay, boy, it seems my music is loud. Volume, music, turn it down to about 50. 51's close enough. Okay, so anyway, we are gonna go back down into the mines, but as far as episodes, series and entertainment of my YouTube, what is going to happen is, as far as this new Starbound series goes, is that I'm gonna record a couple episodes of this, so then it may be a day or two before this actually is uploaded, so that's how it do, I guess. Oh yeah, our thing was over that way, but we will not do that now. We will raw poultry. We can cook up this poultry. Let's cook up this meat. I wonder, will we be able to make like chicken dumplings or something? Because we can make bread, fish fingers, fish dumplings. Sorry. Pearl pea broth. Pearl pea broth. We can make corn cobs. And we can boil the pearl peas. Pearl pea broth. Okay, that takes some stuff. So, yeah, I'm gonna record a couple episodes of this because honestly, recording on weekdays hasn't been working as much for me as I'd like it to, due to me being a busy person, because I have things in my life. Yeah, I already checked these. There was a cruddy spear in that one. Now I remember. But yeah, due to me being kind of busy lately, and you know, this state of busyness that I'm currently in won't last forever, just for like the next 6 weeks. Reason being because I am doing some things in real life that, you know, that take up a lot of my day. You know, and that's just natural. Nothing I can do to stop it. Though there are things that I want to do and that will further my well-being. Oh, I murdered that fish and I got some fish out of it. Yeah, raw fish. Ha, you missed, fool. You can't touch this. You can't touch me. I am the Nova dude. I gotta quit falling so far. Okay. They changed, like, the text. Like, how the text appears. Ah, crud. Okay, yeah, this is where we were last. Yeah, and we didn't even take a bit of damage. That's good. Okay, so we're gonna dig our way over here. But like I was saying, as far as Star Trek Online goes... Oh, more iron. Excellent. Wonderful. I'm probably gonna, you know, do it in little bits, because Star Trek Online was a wonderful, wonderful game, you know, with its storyline, and that was probably the part that I really enjoyed, how much work went into it, basically. And don't get me wrong, the graphics are still wonderful. It's just that the developers haven't been putting as much, well, actual work, not as in fixing bugs and things, in the newest update, you know, Delta Rising. Oh boy, there's a dude. There's a dude. There's a dude. Die. 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 Good. But, so, what, in my opinion, Star Trek Online could have been a much better game if they'd made it like a linear story game, maybe with some in-game content. Maybe if they made it like a sequel to Star Trek, to the game Star Trek Legacy, which I want to get. And when I get it, I'm going to do a walkthrough of it. Because it was a great game despite being relatively old. You know, 2006 games, the graphics aren't as amazing as Star Trek Online, but they're still pretty nice. And as far as, you know, if anything, Star Trek Legacy was the precursor to Star Trek Online in terms of the space combat. So it's like that, except kind of different. Because, like, I've mentioned this, but, like, with the Akira class, you know, well, I haven't mentioned it yet. I haven't uploaded that video yet. Doo-doo-doo, secret project, ha ha ha. You don't get any spoilers. But the Akira class is intended to be, like, basically basically just a torpedo platform. Just a starship. Oh, a silver pick. That's interesting. I'm not going to use it, though. It was basically, like I was saying, an Akira class is basically just a torpedo boat. A torpedo platform. You know, lots of torpedoes basically getting close, have, basically have the other ships in the task force take out the ship's shields, and then the Akira would just wreck its day with torpedoes. And that is extremely evident in the game Star Trek Online, where they actually take into account what the ships were built and intended for. You know, and they don't use, like, specialty bridge officer slots like they did in Star Trek Online and in Star Trek Bridge Commander, which was another game that was pretty cool, but, you know, old. Crazy old. Really old. But still a pretty cool game. And then, you know, what they did is they just basically gave the Akira class 27 torpedo tubes, making it wonderful for, you know, when you've taken out an enemy's shields. You know, you can just fire a salvo of 27 torpedoes at a time, which is something you honestly can't do in Star Trek Online unless you use the torpedo spread ability, which you know, it's just a bridge officer tactic, which in the actual Akira class, oh, cool, bricks. In itself, it didn't need special bridge officers to do anything. It just blew things up with torpedoes because that's what it was built to do. You know? And they actually have it set up so that certain ships have, like, different amounts, you know, like, different amounts of, like, phasers or, torpedo bays. Because, you know, the Akira actually does have 27 torpedo bays in Star Trek Legacy, and that is how it is actually supposed to be built, according to the Star Trek, Wiki Alpha. Yeah. Oh boy, I've done a bad thing here. I've gotten so caught up in my conversation that I've forgotten to do what I need to do so that I don't die in a pit. Oh, well, that doesn't really help now, does it? Considering there was this right here, but anyway, so, plus Star Trek Legacy had a great storyline. You know, it had a pretty good storyline. You know, combine a decent storyline with excellent gameplay, and it's good. It's good. I took damage from that. But look at all this wonderful stuff I have found. And yeah, as far as other series go, Starbound, this is the newest stable version of Starbound. And, you know, the developers are still working on the next stable version. But I'm doing a walkthrough, you know, a let's play, up until... You know, by no means is Starbound a complete game. It's still got a lot of, you know, development and content adding. What do we have? A broadsword, which does less damage than what I currently have. And it also has, a slower swing rate, so that's overall a downgrade from what I need. But, yeah, so Starbound, you know, it's a beta game. And I thought it was worth to buy it, and I'm getting completely off topic. But, like, beta video games, it's like investing, you know, on the stock market and stuff. Because you gotta know when to... You gotta, you know, use your, basically, like, gamer sense to see if a game is worth buying in early access. And to see if it's gonna bloom into something wonderful. Starbound is already a wonderful game in its current stage, and they're still developing it to make it even better. Same thing with a game called Space Engineers. You know, I've played that a bit, but, you know, there are a few. Overall, it's a great game because of, you know, the level of physics and how fun it is just to build spaceships in it. And... but there are still a few bugs, but I'd say it's well worth the price you pay for it. Ah, more stuff with which... Oh, I'm so glad I just didn't fall to my death. Would have been bad. So bad. There's a thing over there. I'm gonna go see that thing in a bit. Now I'm just gonna jump up over me. Yeah. Okay, and then we'll get this. But, you know, there was only, like, a game a while back, called Space Base DF9, and I was semi-interested in it, but because of lack of funding for it, because they honestly were asking way too high a price for a game that was only an alpha, they couldn't develop it, and they just released it in its current stages. So... Die, you thing. Ah, that gives me glowy glowy. What does that do? Oh, that was probably a health cloud. But I wasn't standing in the right place for it to affect me. Darn it. But, you know, Space Base DF9, which start, like, Star Trek Deep Space Nine, if you got it. Haha. You know, it was like a space station simulator sort of thing. And the problem was they didn't get enough money, so they just shut it down in its tracks. But the thing is, while I'm confident about Space Engineers and Starbound, is that the beta campaigns for Starbound have... One, Starbound already has a huge following and community developed, and because of their beta campaign for it, they generated, you know, more than $100,000 from it, which, you know, by their math is enough to, like, fund the development of Starbound for another 12 years if all of a sudden they just stopped getting money from it. Which they're still getting money from it, because the last time I checked, they had Starbound on Steam and people are still buying it. You know, because I've had this game for over a year now, and Starbound, fun fact, was actually the second video game I ever purchased. The first was Minecraft, then the third was Star Trek Online, and I didn't actually purchase that, and then there was Craft the World. And now I'm going off on a little bit of a tangent. And Space Engineers, it has already a massive following too, so... And the developers, they're getting out updates every Thursday, so... One, you have a dedicated community, and dedicated developers, and with that formula, you've got, in, you know, some time... Space Engineers is going to be a wonderful game. Wonderful, and it already is. Yeah. But then there was another game called Craft the World. In itself, yeah, it was an okay game. But the developers have stopped putting out content for it, and they pretty much just already released it. And in its state that they released it, formally, it was kind of underwhelming. But, oh well, what can you do? Can't complain, and maybe I'll do a walkthrough on it one of these days, maybe not. Only time will tell. The water wasn't deep enough for me to not... Okay, going down this hole. Delving in the cave. Delving in the cave. Oh, cool, a sloppy buckler. Perfect. Equip it. Equip it. You gotta know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em. Yep, this is a place. And... yeah. And, you know, they basically did the same games like Starbound and Space Engineers. They basically went the Minecraft route and said, hey, pay more. This is an early development game. We need money to fund the development, so they cranked up the price a little bit. And, you know, didn't really bug me too much. But Star Trek Online, they're just not... They, you know, how they put out, like, new... different... pile of copper, yay. You know, new patches and developments, which are really buggy and glitchy, and just the way they've made levels more difficult is basically just like giving enemies more HP. Which honestly can be really stupid and inconvenient for someone who's just casually playing the game like myself, and is not spending actual real-life money to progress in the game. Which is honestly something I don't like about games like Clash of Clans and other MMOs, where they have you, you know, in-game, in-app purchases. Those are something that annoy me. So, I guess I'll continue, talking about this subject. Oh boy, that's a dude, that's a dude. Go! Oh yeah, me using my blocker. My blocker. Wha. You can't touch this, foos! Foos can't touch this. Do 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 do.